Her name is Cappie and she played for five different WNBA teams. Five. She just recently retired. She is a international, obviously, world traveler. She's also a vegan, and her favorite foods are anything plant-based. Anything plant-based. Those are her favorite foods, and I told her she looks like a young, vibrant Whitney Houston. But you'll see in a second when she comes up. But anyway, she too was a student at Camp Tall Turf, and fortunately, she has no crazy canoe stories with Arthur. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please show some love, give her a big round of applause for our speaker this evening, Cappie Pondexter, WNBA star.
All right, well, since my bio is in here, I don't think I should talk, so I'll talk to myself. No, I'm joking. It's a pleasure to be here. It feels really good to kind of be back, I guess, where I started or where it all started. So thanks for having me. I want to kind of talk about the art of giving back. I remember being this young kid getting up every morning to chapel and not really knowing what was ahead of me. My counselor, Michelle St. Graven, excuse me if I get emotional, because Michelle St. Graven was a very special person to me. I wouldn't be here standing here if it wasn't for her encouraging me to really excel. I remember her giving me these pair of shorts as a kid to the University of Michigan, and she told me that I could do whatever it is that I wanted to do. And I was a black kid growing up in the urban community. I was very thankful for my parents just instilling me great values at a young age, but Michelle St. Graven was a counselor that I've always and will always remember for the rest of my life, because she encouraged me with these shorts. Really. So the whole time I thought I was going to the University of Michigan, which I could have, but I wouldn't be here talking, so excuse me for crying and being emotional. But I remember going to the court, little shy kid, and she told me, just get in there with the boys, it doesn't matter. And I would wear the shorts every single day. I didn't care how dirty they were, I would wear them. And I told everybody that I was going to Michigan. That was my mission. But I enjoyed the process of being who I am. It was a very scary, exciting, trying time for me, because I didn't really have any examples of what success looked like or what a professional athlete should be. At that time, there wasn't a lot of women basketball players who excelled at a very high level, and so the only people that I could look up to was Michael Jordan, or the Larry Birds, or the Magic Johnson. So I'm grateful for Michelle St. Graven just to even encourage me. So I had the opportunity to play for a very legendary coach at John Marshall High School. She is the most winningest coach, male or female, in the state of Illinois. So being able to play for her, she never let me down easy. I remember sometimes where she would yell at me, and I'm like, why am I always being the one yelled at? But now I understand the value of when you have a special talent and you have special people in your life, they push you. And I'm very grateful and thankful that I had the opportunity to play for her. I completed 4 years. I got my diploma at John Marshall High School. I could have attended any university in the world, but I chose to attend Rutgers University, where I played for another legendary coach, C. Vivian Stringer, who instilled in me that it's not about basketball, but life in general. And I will always tell, as a mentor now, I will always tell children or, young adults who are trying to search for something that it's right. The ball or sports, it won't always be around. It's just a vehicle to push you through. It teaches you certain lessons that'll be valuable in your life later. And I'm learning that now as I'm kind of transitioning from being a pro athlete. So I graduated in 5 years. 4 years, but I was a Prop 48 my first year, which I decided to stay at Rutgers to kind of enhance my game. I graduated the Dean list. So I'm very grateful to attend the University of Rutgers University. So I was drafted in 2006, where I played for the Phoenix Mercury. I won 2 championships with Diana Taurasi. I'm sure you guys are all aware. I had 7 WNBA All-Star appearances, probably more if you don't count the USA trial. I won a gold medal in 2008 in Beijing, which is something I never dreamed about. But again, to go back to Michelle Seagraven, she is the reason why I'm standing here today. But there's a debate that I think I should actually have more gold medals, but I'll leave that to Gino Ariyama to tell that story. No, but I love Gino. He's a great guy. My 2 choices that I narrowed it down to was UConn and Rutgers, but obviously I chose Rutgers to play for a very strong, talented individual. And I think I turned out all right. So I'm grateful for every coach that has touched me in some way throughout my career. I've kind of felt, in the last 3 years that I was ready to give up basketball. I would wake up not loving it the same, but it's kind of hard when you have so many people that look up to you, especially your family, and they're like, no, you still got it in you. You still can do it. And I'm just like, guys, waking up at 6 in the morning, traveling to Europe, it's tough on you mentally. And I decided to retire in 2018, which is probably one of the best decisions that I've made so far. I lived everywhere. I lived in Russia, I lived in Istanbul, I lived in Australia, I lived in Cyprus, so I'm very grateful for every opportunity that I've had. But for me, I've always wanted to give back. It was always the foundation of my heart. It led to many moments of happiness when I truly wasn't happy at times throughout my career. We all know that in sports there's up and downs. There are moments where you want to give up. There's moments where you're on a super high. And through it all, giving back was just something that always kept me grounded. So all the many people I've helped in my life, I realize I've only existed because of them. I'm still here because of them, and I'm super grateful and thankful for the drive that they give me to keep excelling and keep giving breath to the youth that we're around every single day, for a chance to them to live up to their dreams. I want to thank Camp Tall Turf for just believing in me, giving me a platform, an opportunity to dream as a kid, to do things outside of the box that you don't really get to do, and to be a kid, really. I want to thank Michelle Singraven and her family. I want to thank my family, and most importantly, I want to thank God. And most importantly, to the future generations, you can do whatever it is that you dream about doing. The universe is really yours. It's up to you. It's filled with so many amazing things, and you have to know that your dreams are limitless. You give us silly adults hope, believe it or not. Even though we seem to have it figured out, we really don't. We learn from you every single day, so thank you for encouraging us. So no matter how large you become in life, give back, because the true circle of life is one big old circle, and it always comes around and around and around. Time after time. So, thank you. And yeah, it's great to be back, and I'm truly appreciative that I'm a product of Camp Tauter. So I hope I can serve you guys right throughout my career.
Come on, you guys can do better than that, I know. We're talking about a gold medalist, an Olympic gold medalist here. That's right, you've got a legend standing before you. It's not often that we have an opportunity to hang out with a gold medalist. And so since we're ahead of schedule, what I'm going to take the liberty to do is, let's go ahead and open it up for a couple of questions. We're about 8 minutes ahead of schedule. So let's go ahead and take a couple of minutes and do a little Q&A, because this is not every day. You know, you're a big deal. I did feel like, though, during your presentation, that you were going to start singing The Greatest Love of All at any minute. Like Whitney Houston. So, any questions? Anybody have some questions? Either young people, aspiring athletes, or anyone want to ask her a question about her travels, playing, what it's like to win a gold medal, just those common everyday things. Reverend Moody.
What was your greatest challenge?
Wow, that's a great question.
Would you repeat it so that in case I didn't hear it?
Yeah, my greatest challenge would probably be last year, where I got waived from the LA Sparks, and I was shocked, I would say. You know, it's not normal that an athlete of my stature get waived in the middle of the season, especially when they know the ultimate goal is to win a championship. At that moment, I wanted to quit. I can be honest about that, but I cried for 24 hours. The baby inside of me cried. But my fans and my mom encouraged me to not quit. And when the young fans hit me up about not quitting, on that note, it kind of pushed me. But literally, I turned my phone on for 24 hours, and the moment I turned my phone on, my agent called, was like, a team is interested in you. But in that moment, I've never felt defeat. It was hard to even like face the world, honestly, because, and I don't like to compare myself, you know, but we do, it's the human in us. I'm like, well, this person, that person I won gold medals and championships with, or, you know, I played on this team with, you know, that's my first instinct. But I think the strength, the God strength that's inside of me, allowed me to get back up. And I finished the season with the Indiana Fever on a very high note. Some would say because it wasn't a winning season that it wasn't successful, but I went to a team that was 1-16 in the first half, and we finished 6-21 in the second half, and we won on a final note. So I would say in those moments, it was probably the most discouraging time and hard time for me in my career.
Yes, sir.
I've seen some photos where it looks like you've had opportunities already to begin to teach and share and coach young people around the world. What's that been like for you?
What's it been like to teach and coach and share since you retired?
It's been great, honestly. I did a sports envoy trip with the U.S. Embassy in Malaysia and Indonesia, and the reception of the kids were like, I mean, you couldn't deny it, because one was a Muslim country, and the kids had never played basketball before. And the moment we introduced them to the game, they were in love. And to see the joy of the kids, I mean, it warms my heart, because like I've had the opportunity to do everything in my career that I've ever dreamed about doing. And to see like that it was hope in their eyes, it encouraged me to just continue to strive and be great for them.
I have a question. When you think about Camp Tall Turf as it relates to your development, what do you think it did most for you?
For me, I would say Camp Tall Turf, it made me appreciate nature. It made me appreciate the universe in a whole different way, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not saying that, you know, something's gonna happen, but if it does, like, nature will be able to tell us first. And Camp Tall Turf made me appreciate everything from waking up, going to chapel by the lake, to going camping at night, to making our own fires, to sleeping in cabins with other mates, and making arts and crafts for our parents, which my mom still has to this day. So being able to see, you know, the development from a kid to now, I think it's worth it. You know, a lot of families have moved away from bringing kids to camps for whatever reasons, but I think it's probably one of the greatest things ever in the development for the kid.
Good question. Now that you had a chance to go all around the world and see a lot of crazy things, see yourself some crazy things, how do you process this community here in Grand Rapids? Like a sort of perspective as opposed to what you see in the world?
Well, there was a lot of different questions, but I think I would think that what he's asking is
How do you see the area now?
of Grand Rapids compared to the rest of the world.
Because you've seen some things.
I have. I can tell you a story. I remember on New Year's, I was living in Istanbul, Turkey. The terrorist attack that happened where a guy killed all those individuals. We were having a party with the Americans, and we were next door in the club where the mass attack happened. And one of my former teammates and friends who I went to school with, she had an app that the WNBA and the NBA security made for us, and she was alerted to not move. Well, granted, a lot of us started leaving the actual place, and the guy was still running around crazy. And she said, well, they just alerted us to not move. And so we stayed there for like, I want to say 7 to 8 hours. So that was probably the craziest thing that I've ever been a part of. But in terms of, I mean, people are people all over. You can learn so much from, it doesn't matter if it's in Russia where it's cold and it's never sunny, you know, and negative 42-degree weather every single day, to, see, it's the same. But I think they're valuable lessons to be learned when you travel, because every culture is different. But I would say it's cultured me to be able to relate to a lot of different cultures. You know, not everybody can do that, but basketball has given me an opportunity to be able to do that. And now it's something that I've taught my family. You know, they've come to every place that I've played at, and now I can teach my kids. So,
what's your favorite place to live outside of America, and why?
wow, that's a great question. I would say Istanbul is my favorite place to live. Because there are two sides. There's a European side and an Asian side. So it's like a more modern Americanized side. And then there's an old Asian side where it was like the old ancient times where the Turks, you know, kind of revolutionized. So it was really, really cool to like live on both sides. I like because I could just order Ben and Jerry's and it'd be there in like 5 minutes. Krispy Kremes was there.
But you're an athlete, you don't eat that stuff.
Well, at the time I did. Because I could run it all. That's the secret.
Yeah. So we've got another gold medalist, or was that something else? Ron, did you have a question? Did you win a gold? No? No. No, okay. I thought, but I was wrong. Yeah. Bernie said you are golden. Yeah, no, I'm just teasing. Did you have a question though?
Backyard basketball gold medal.
Yeah, backyard basketball gold medal. But he was quite a guy though on the court.
So
I remember that.
I was out, so I didn't hear it quite at the beginning. How did you get to Camp Talter? What was grew up in Chicago, obviously.
Yeah, I went to
And how did you
Chicago
get there?
West Side Christian School.
Okay.
With Pastor Wolf and Cappie. And, you know, my mom, she's a busy person,
Yeah.
so she always would find little unique things for me to kind of get involved. I started traveling abroad at 15. So my first basketball program, I went to Germany, I went to Brussels, and that kind of like started like the whole basketball adventure, but she would find cool things and she told me that I had to go to Camp Talter, but I loved it, so it just worked out.
So you remember riding the old bus up to camp and all that? Did they do that, or did your mom bring you up?
Yeah, we were in a school bus. Not a school bus, I think a van, it's a church van.
Okay. You remember what church that was?
Chicago West Side Christian
Okay.
School.
So it was a school that brought you, okay.
Yes, but it's also a church too.
Yeah.
Was that in St.
Yes,
Lawndale?
yeah, yeah.
Big campus.
Arthur has a question. Yes.
I think we both have something in common. I also graduated from Marshall.
Oh, cool, Commando Pride. For life.
Have you been back there to do any mentoring with some of the?
Yeah, so I was pretty much, I've been affiliated with Nike basketball since I was 15 years old. You know, it's part of the process as an athlete. And I was signed as an athlete to Nike in 2006, but now that I've retired, I do a lot of grassroots work. And I give back a lot. So my thing, you know, whenever they call, I'll just come. So I think they did something with Dorothy L. Gators, the basketball court for her, and I think her, I don't know how many went. It was a lot of wins, I'm not sure, but they donated a court for her. So that was like the last time I went to Marshall.
It's changed a lot.
It has. They have a football court. They have a track and field. So it's a beautiful school with a lot of rich sports history. So it's, you know, they have to.
Michael Jordan has done workshops there.
Yeah, that's when I first met Michael Jordan, actually. Yeah, I was shy though, so I really didn't talk much around him. But yeah, he sparked a great interest. He's a great friend of mine, I can say. Jordan is an inspiring guy. He knows a lot about the business, and yeah.
It's not too shabby. One last question. Anybody have another question? Yes. Okay, we'll do two. We'll do yours real quick, and then we'll come back to. Yep. Oh, the naughtiest thing you did at Camp Talter that you can talk about.
Hold on, please. Michael, turn the camera off.
Well, you guys don't have to worry. I didn't do anything naughty. I just wore the dirty shorts all the time. That was really it. But I can say I enjoyed the cafeteria a great deal. I look forward to that moment. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All right. The last question.
Just real quick, comparing the WNBA games compared to playing overseas, playing
Compare the WNBA to playing overseas.
reception that you get in various countries in Europe.
Yeah, they're very supportive actually in Europe. Way more supportive than we are. And it could be the timing of when we play. You know, the summertime is family time. A lot of families like to get together and do things. But I can encourage you that, you know, if you ever get the opportunity to go with your family, it's a great family atmosphere. You won't be disappointed in the game. The kids will have a tremendous time. They can run around and go crazy and then get home and go to sleep, so I encourage it. But I would say, you know, a lot of talented elite individuals are able to make $1 million in Europe compared to the salary here. The starting salary for any rookie that plays in the WNBA is $40,000, which is taxed. So I mean, it's living below poverty, really, if you think about it. The highest you can make as a vet is $118,000, which is still taxed and is living below poverty, if you think about it. But the beautiful thing about overseas, a lot of investment groups believe in women's sports, and they invest a lot of money in elite athletes, and they enjoy when they have the best American because they can kind of brag and compete at the highest stages. But, you know, I think Adam Silver understands where the troubles are for women basketball players. And, you know, we've done a lot of group talks, put committees together. We got a great board group in the Players Association. So I think we're headed in the right direction in terms of leadership. And we all know that it's really just marketing, visibility. Because the more, you know, our sport is seen, you know, the more people are interested in it. And I think that's probably where the line draws. Because in Europe, as soon as you come in at airport, there's advertisements, there's TV commercials that are like nonstop. You know, the pay is great. And, but, you know, it's a disservice too because a lot of my career I spent by myself and not with my family. So I miss birthdays, I miss my grandparents getting older, I miss some family members dying. I mean, it's, you know, it's hit or miss depending on who you are, because it takes a very strong individual to be in another country for most of the year. You know, you live there for 7 to 8 months out of a year. But, you know, if you're strong enough, if you like to travel and you love culture, I think, you know, it will be great for you, and it'll help you in your second part of your career.
Where do you keep your gold medal?
Well, for a long period of time, it was in storage.
Where's it now?
It's at my house in LA. You know, I'm just not the bragging type like that. So, you know, a lot of awards were like given away, depending on how I felt after a game. But, you know, the gold medal is obviously something that is monumental and that, you know, is something worth cherishing. It's worth a lot of money, too. But, yeah, it's at home right now. I actually took it on my last trip when I went to Malaysia.
Fantastic. I would say that Camp Tall Turf is instrumental in creating legends. Would you guys agree with that? It's obvious, it's very apparent. You know, if there were some sort of Camp Tall Turf reunion of some sort, it's no telling where the kids, no telling what they've done in life. I can say we. No telling what we've done in life, you know, all of us. Camp Tall Turf is amazing. Thank you so much. Can we show her some love? Give her a big round of applause. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you being here. Awesome job. It's not often that you get to hang out with a gold medalist